Hey there, dirt bike people. I'm Chuck from TrueTech, and today I'm going to tell you why your bike is stalling downhill, and I'm going to help you fix it. This is one of the most common questions that I get asked. There are only 2 reasons why bikes stall when they're going downhill. Understanding this problem is actually really simple. Most of the time when I'm presented with this problem, the rider feels confused and doesn't really know where to start. Like, they have a bunch of information and it's not organized in their brain. It's only 2 things. I've already actually done a video on both of the potential causes for this downhill stalling problem. So what I'm going to do in this video is help you narrow down this problem specifically and point you in the right direction. The only 2 reasons why your bike will stall going downhill is number 1, clutch, and number 2, fueling. So to start off into this topic, it's important to understand that your bike does not know the angle at which it's riding. Modern fuel-injected bikes do have angle sensors or tip sensors, but that's just a go, no-go gauge. It's just to stop your bike if it's fallen over. It's not like it's actively reading the angle of your bike. Your bike does not know if it's going downhill or uphill, which means that the angle of your bike is not a factor in whether or not it stalls. Even though you do get that symptom, I understand it is a real symptom when you're going downhill, the bike stalls. However, that's not really what it's about. And I think this is probably why so many people get confused by this problem. It only happens when we're going downhill, so it must have to do with downhill or angle or something like that. This is a bit of a redirect, so we have to shift our focus a little bit and understand what inputs are happening with the bike, and that will help us understand what's going on. So what is happening when you're going downhill? A couple of things. Number 1, you're on the rear brake, usually. You're also off the throttle, and usually the clutch is in. So your bike is coasting, going down a hill, you have forward momentum, and you are managing that momentum, so you don't want the engine to be pushing you forward, so you pull your clutch in. You turn the throttle off, and you are managing that momentum with your rear brake. So the tire is sometimes locked up, sometimes it's slowing down. The point is that the engine RPM and the rear tire are not matched, and therefore the clutch is either slipping or grabbing. In this case, because we have the clutch pulled in, it will be slipping and there will be some drag. Drag is normal even with a brand new clutch. The clutch, as you probably know, is a bunch of plates. The outer basket is spinning while the inner hub is not spinning until you let go of the clutch, and the clutch transfers the power from the engine to the rear wheel. In between these plates is oil. That oil is by design causing drag between these clutch plates. Now, ideally when you pull your clutch in, the pressure plate pulls away and the engine is free to spin separately from the rear wheel, decoupling the engine RPM from what's going on, like with the speed of the bike. But no matter what, you're always going to get a little bit of that happening. So the question here is this causing an issue for you? And if it is, how do we solve it? Whatever your idle speed is on your bike, on a TPI or a modern 2-stroke, it's about 14 to 1500 RPM, actually quite precisely 14 to 1500 RPM. So for example, if your rear tire is spinning slow enough that this drag is causing the engine to drop below its ideal idle RPM, you're going to have a stalling situation. If the rear tire is spinning slower than the engine, there will be a little bit of drag in the clutch that will slow the engine RPM down. When the engine RPM is below its idle point, it will be more prone to stalling. So that's option 1. If your clutch is dragging and you're going downhill, you're going to have a stalling situation. In this case, it has nothing to do with fueling, has nothing to do with the engine, has nothing to do with the angle of the bike. It's just that the clutch is dragging more than what is optimal. So how do we solve that? Well, that's a whole video on its own, and fortunately, I've already made that video. This video covers basically everything that could possibly go wrong with your clutch and how to diagnose it, how to fix it. And as we already know, the other possible situation is that you have a fueling problem. Now, fueling is a little bit more broad and there are a few more variables. Obviously, a big one is whether you have a fuel-injected bike or a carbureted bike. Let's start with a fuel-injected bike. 2-stroke or 4-stroke, doesn't matter. Again, your bike doesn't know whether it's going uphill or downhill. However, if your fueling is not optimal, either too rich, usually that's the case, or too lean, the bike may struggle to idle in the best of scenarios, and when you add in extended idle period with the clutch in and adding a little bit of that clutch drag, that symptom may become worse. So what we're seeing here is that this can be an issue, but it's almost always in tandem with a clutch issue. Now, an easy way to test this is if your bike idles fine in neutral. If it idles fine in neutral, chances are it's a clutch issue. However, like I say, clutches always drag a little bit, so if the clutch isn't solving it for you, you may also have an air-fuel ratio that's a little bit off. And optimizing that air-fuel ratio can be very helpful. So if this is an issue that you're having with your fuel-injected bike, it doesn't idle very well to begin with, and it makes it worse on downhills, fortunately, I already have a video for that too. Right up here, it's a very detailed, in-depth look at what to do with your TPI. It applies to many other fuel-injected bikes as well, but basically, I start with concepts and symptoms and go through a bit of a troubleshooting flowchart, and ultimately, the goal is to help you be able to diagnose and repair any symptom where the bike doesn't run very well and is fuel injected. It's quite broad and it goes very specific. Now, carbureted bike. There is one important factor with a carbureted bike that's stalling on downhills, and that is float height. On a carbureted bike, the angle of the bike can affect the fuel level in the float bowl, and therefore it can affect air-fuel ratio. So on a carbureted bike, it's really important to diagnose first whether this is related to the angle that you're going down. If it only happens on downhills, like I say, it could still be the clutch, but a good way to diagnose this would be to get some speed up on a low slope so that the angle is not likely to affect the float level. Lots of speed so that you can do a prolonged test with the clutch in and the throttle off. And then you can test adding brake versus not adding brake, and that can help you narrow down whether or not this is a carburetor issue. One of the easiest ways to tell if this is a carburetor issue or a float level issue is simply if your bike is on a little bit of an uphill or downhill, is there fuel leaking out of the overflow? That's kind of a dead nuts sign. I have encountered this several times on my own bike. Specifically on my Beta, I noticed that it started stalling on downhills. So as I was riding, I would stop and have a look underneath at my overflow. Sure enough, the overflow was leaking when the bike was only at a very slight incline or decline, which is a dead giveaway that you have a float needle issue. So float needle is really the only situation in which the actual angle of the bike is going to affect the stalling at all. However, if you don't have a float needle issue and you have a carbureted bike, you could still have a fueling issue. It just kind of reverts back to what I said about fuel injection. If your bike sits and idles nicely when it's up to temp and it has good throttle response off the bottom, then it's most likely not a fueling issue, or at least not completely a fuel issue. It can be fueling and clutch combined. So optimizing both of those is necessary if you have one of these symptoms. And surprise, surprise, I have a full video on how to tune your carburetor. 2-stroke or 4-stroke, doesn't matter. I go over what symptoms to look for, the different circuits that are in a carburetor, float height, all that type of stuff. A full how to jet your dirt bike video. So like I said, if you have this symptom, it's important not to have tunnel vision and focus on that angle specifically. The most likely situation is that it's an issue with the clutch. A less likely situation is that you have an air fuel issue. Hope this video is helpful. Thanks a lot for watching.